Mm, nom 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 nom. Oi.
Hello, my name is Paulina and I am Anita Holic. Welcome back to my channel Tikva Hobbies. Today's video is going to be a rather long one. You can see a little spoiler here on the table. So I guess that you grab your needles, a cup of coffee or tea, whatever, and enjoy it. So in this video I'm going to show you my stash, my yarn stash, and my plans, what I'm going to knit out of this yarn. I guess for every knitter their yarn stash is their treasure. So today I'm going to be a mixture of a dragon showing my yarn stash and the magician because I'm going to retrieve and put everything in front of me. So let's start it. We'll start with the woolly yarns and move on to something more for summer like cotton and linen. Let's start with the sock yarn. I've got a couple of skeins here. For example, these remnants. So half a skein probably here and a bit here. So that's Alize Superwash sock yarn. I pretty much love it. It's super affordable, so you wouldn't have thought that it's so durable. I've got a pair of socks out of this yarn in color black, and I wear them in hiking boots in autumn and early winter, or if it's just rather muddy outside, I prefer wearing my hiking boots. So, and they're super durable. I don't remember when I knitted that pair of socks, I guess a couple of years ago. I just used the machine to get rid of all the nasty stuff, and they're as good as new. So highly recommend this one if you are going to wear them in boots. Really durable. So this red one here. Actually, I've made, I guess, 3 pairs of socks out of this color for my husband and friends and relatives, and I haven't got a single pair for myself in color red. So I guess this will go for a pair of socks for myself. Here's the blue one, also the same Alize Superwash. Actually, that was also for me. The same for wearing inside the boots. And here I have a couple of skeins which are a bit thicker. That's a Russian brand, Pehorka, and it's again super affordable. And let me see what's inside. It's 50% wool and 50% acrylic, and that's 200 meters in 100 grams, so it's a rather thick yarn. I wanted to make a pair of socks which are rather high and to wear them maybe in rubber boots in autumn. I even started, I guess, late autumn I started, but something was wrong. I was not happy with how it was turning out and decided to try again a bit later. So it's still waiting its turn. The color is 191 blackberry. Well, it doesn't look like blackberry to me. I'd say rather blackberry with maybe a bit of cream, or not a bit of. So that's also going to be socks, but a bit thicker ones. So what else have I got out of sock yarn? This is a New Year present from my mom. So that's German brand, I guess. At least everything's written in German. Just a second. Yeah, so that's Prolana, Meine Wolle, and that's let me see, 70% wool and 23% polyamide and 7% polyester, and that's around 400 grams, oh sorry, 400 meters in 100 grams. Rather colorful. I have nothing to say about this yarn but for what I can see right now. So that's pretty colorful. It's softer if we compare with, oh actually, oh they both feel rather woolen. so might be not the best option for your neck maybe, but for socks that's a lovely combo. So very colorful, so this could make, I guess, rather long socks for if it's for myself, which I hope. That will be rather long socks. Here are two skeins, which are 50 grams each. These are, again, it's also part of my mom's present, and these are for my husband. That's 75% merino and 25% polyamide. And it's again 420 meters in 100 grams. So that's typical sock yarn length. Yeah. So here we go. So these are going to be socks for my husband. And I guess that's all with the sock yarn. Yeah, everything else is not for socks. Let's move on to, for instance, this couple of skeins. Yeah, let's do first the stuff which is rather trivial and then move on to something more interesting. So a couple of skeins, I bought them when I was practicing knitting Fair Isle. So under Galina we can see this, what do we call it, a swatch, right? I was swatching for my Elizabeth of York vest, but of course these are not the colors that I used. These are too bright for me, I guess, to wear for every day. Well, I was just trying to learn knitting without any floats, Fair Isle without floats. And as you can see, well, I guess you might be able to see it, there are minimal floats, only probably here where it was not avoidable, so I couldn't avoid making floats. So I tried to knit without floats and it turned out pretty nicely. And then I moved on to swatching the yarn for my vest. Still, I quite like the combination of these colors, so maybe not for a garment, but for accessories it's pretty bright and colorful and might improve your mood and cheer you up during the winter months. So I remembered that last year I was wearing this as a kind of a, what to call it, instead of a scarf, like an infinity scarf, like a collar. Yeah, just I'm not gonna wear it now, but actually it fits rather nicely around the neck, and I've got a few tails which are not woven well, but it didn't stop me from wearing it. Pretty warm. So as for these two, actually I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Maybe knit a pair of mittens. I guess this would look lovely as mittens, rather bright and colorful. So we'll see. I'm not quite sure about these two. Maybe mittens for next winter. Who knows? What else have I got here? Well, let's move on to the skeins. Yeah, let's finish with the skeins and then I'll show you the yarn on the bobbins. So here are three skeins of Drops Air, the yarn which I love. Well, I guess that most of you know what it's like, yeah? Drops Air, that's alpaca on a polyamide cord. Is it polyamide or polyamide? I need to look it up. So that's like 65 or 70% alpaca. How much was it? How much alpaca? Oh, my memory fails me. So I've got 3 skeins left. It should be written. Why can't I? Yeah, 65% alpaca, 28 polyamide, and 7% wool. I know that a lot of you need sweaters and jumpers out of this yarn, but I found it super practical for my hats, crochet hats, by the way. And for a crochet hat, the one that I make with the fold, with the brim, it's rather warm, and I need, I guess, 2.5 skeins, so I've got 3 here. Actually, last winter I knitted quite many such hats for my friends, relatives, and just for sale. So I've got 3 skeins left here, which will make a pretty lovely hat, and a whole plastic bag with the remnants of different colors. This pink berry color is the one that I wear. I've got a hat this color, lovely Bordeaux, I adore it. Light blue with some little wisps of pink or purple. So a whole bag of these ones. Let's put them somewhere over there. What's gonna be next? A couple of skeins of drops alpaca. One will be with my mittens that I'm working on right now. I've got my project bag here. So I'm not going to show you right now. I'll show you when they're finished. Let's keep the intrigue, yeah? Keep you all a bit in suspense. So one skein will go to be the inner part of the mittens, and the other one, I don't know. So I was just, when I ordered these, I was not sure if I needed 2 skeins or 1, so I've got 2. What do you say if I make gloves, such bright pink gloves? Would you wear such gloves? Could you write in the comments below, because right now I'm a bit doubtful if they are too bright or not. So the second kind may go for the gloves. At least I've got a pair of gloves made from drops alpaca, but in a different color. That's like a Bordeaux with a bit of blue in it, and they are my favorite ones. Really warm and fluffy, and well, just love them. And you know, as for alpaca, it's when you wear it, it can get a bit felted, but not that much as merino wool or just woolly wool, but alpaca is more, well, you can wear it for longer. So for gloves, this is a good variant, I guess. Well, unless you, don't know, work physically and felt it very soon, which doesn't happen to me, so this might be a pair of gloves. Next, let's move on to something more fancy, I guess. For example, this bobbin. I put a scale here because I don't remember the weights of some of the bobbins. And I guess I need to explain a little bit why it's not a ball and not a skein, why it is a bobbin. You know that some yarn is sold like this by the manufacturer, and some bobbins could be bought at the, how to call it? So imagine there is a manufacturer, they make wool for different brands, for different factories, and when the factories make a collection, like every season, yes, so brands make collections. When this is over, they've got a certain number of bobbins left, so these become not so needed, so they're sold cheaper than the regular price, and that's when they're first bought by large quantities by resellers, so like people who sell this to us, to just knitters, and you can buy premium quality wool for rather affordable sum of money, and rather reasonable, I should say. And that's how I buy some of my yarn, yeah, some of my wools. For example, this one is silk mohair on silk. Oh, sorry, what am I saying? Kid mohair. Kid mohair on silk. It's 70% kid mohair and 30% silk. I weighed it previously before the video, and it's 150 grams. It seems little, but if we think of how thin it is, yes, it's actually 1,500 meters total. yeah, so 1,000 meters in 100 grams. So it could make a lovely jumper for my size. I'm size M, by the way. So originally my idea was to fold it double, to use slightly thicker needles than needed for this length. Maybe to use two sizes of needles and change from one to another to the other, and to make fabric which will be a bit see-through. But I tried this out. You see maybe that some part of it I've already tried knitting it. So I didn't like it. And I'm not sure that I love mohair so thin without adding any other yarn to it. Because I've got a jumper, I made it a couple of years ago, and it's a yoke jumper, and it's a mixture of, I used two threads. One thread was merino wool, yeah, I guess that was plain merino, maybe with a little bit of cashmere and something else in it. Don't remember, so my memory could fail me in such cases. And a thread of mohair. And I decided to do the same with this one and bought another bobbin. Well, I'm not sure I remember what it is. Obviously there is merino in it. Maybe a bit of cashmere, but I'm not sure. I bought it quite a while ago. And how much have I got? Let's wait just a second. So it's around 200 grams. And these two may blend lovely together. I haven't yet made a swatch, but this is slightly lighter and a bit shiny because there is silk in it. This is a richer color. I do love such blue, how to say, not electric blue, not light blue, but sea blue colors. They are my passion. If I see a lovely shade of blue, I buy it. So this will go together, and I'm gonna make a jumper out of it, or maybe not, maybe a sweater. Yeah, I remember what my original idea was, to make a sweater with a very high collar, maybe double, to have to wear it double ripped. As for this part, I was going to make it a yoke sweater, but that would be too simple, and I might insert maybe some cables in it. Definitely not lace because it's a winter garment, but cables will be present, I guess. Oh, I might just need it all stockinette, we'll see. First I need to make a swatch. So these are really what I like. Lovely colors. What's gonna be next? Next I've got these 6 bobbins of cashmere. So it's rather thin, so the thread is really thin. By the way, a little announcement, I put all my yarns into plastic bags. So before this video I had to unpack everything, but when I store it I always put it inside a bag, because the likes of Galina can eat this up and I'm not happy about it. I guess if I found such insects in my skeins, in my yarn stash, I don't know. I would be furious, I guess. So that's cashmere. And the yarn is really thin. So I guess that on camera you cannot even see how thin it is. So it's 3,000 meters in 100 grams. So that's really thin. And additionally, of course, it's used for machine knitting. But I quite like this gray color, and you know, it's a sort of cashmere. There are two varieties of cashmere. One is really fluffy and It's really soft, and when you touch it, oh, it's so smooth. I love it. But this one, it has a bit finer threads, and it's more elastic, and it could be, you can knit cables and ribbons on it, and they look great. So usually cashmere, if it's fluffy, it doesn't look good in ribbon. Maybe it does, but it's not stretchy, it's not elastic. But this variety of cashmere should do it, should be nice in ribbons. So the idea was to knit a turtleneck sweater, so a fitted garment. I haven't started it yet, as you see. So there are 6 bobbins, so this makes 500 meters in 100 grams if I fold 6 threads together. Actually, it's not so difficult for me, I've done it before. The thing is, you shouldn't, if you use such fine machine knitting yarn for machine knitting, you shouldn't try to how to call it. Well, there are 2 ways you can knit it. Use separate cones, or put it all together and make one big cone. Never do this, because there might be some threads which would create floats, and it will get all really messy, and believe me, it's trouble. So better not. So this is going to be a turtleneck jumper. Let's put it somewhere here. Oh, Galina, no one can see you right now, I guess. Let's put her on top here. She will guard the yarn and make sure that her friends don't touch it. So she has it all to herself. What's next? Then I've got a couple of bobbins. Actually 4. Why do I say couple? There are 4 of them, and I'm not sure if I can hold it all. So some of you may know that last winter and autumn I knitted the Elizabeth of York vest by Alice Starmore from her Tudor Roses collection. I made a few changes. Well, actually I made quite a lot of changes. Well, just let me tell you, the garment is fine, it's great, but I needed it to fit it a bit differently. I'll tell you more about it in one of the following videos. But that's the yarn that I used for it. It's actually it's no name brand. As I said, I sometimes buy stock yarn which could be no name, but if I like the quality of it, and if the yardage is okay, and if I make a swatch and I'm happy with it, why not? So this is lamb's wool, 100% lamb's wool, and it's perfect for Fair Isle because lamb's wool, when you knit it and you wash it, it becomes one smooth surface, really soft, and all the colors, you know, they just stick together, all the stitches, and that's magic. So why do I need that more? Yeah, so I've already made a garment out of this. Actually, my husband last year said that he would like to have a similar vest or maybe cardigan, so we bought some more because that's stock yarn. If you don't buy it, it will be bought by someone else and you will never find it again. So we decided to get some more. As for this project, I haven't started it yet, and actually there's not much need in it now because my husband doesn't usually wear such vests every day. He wanted it for some live role-playing events, but this is not what's necessary at the moment, so I might complete this project later on, maybe. Don't know even when, we'll see. If he asks me again, I'll think about it. There are so many projects to complete, so you've got to prioritize. Let's put them somewhere in here. Oops, the table is half full. I wonder if you can see me behind all these yarns. And that's not the end. That's not the end yet. Let's put Ginny a bit higher. Oh, maybe like this. I hope you can see her. So what's gonna be next? Next, I've got a whole basket of skeins which I use for my bed cover in the background. I'll tell you a bit more about it in one of the following videos, but here it is. That's not all actually. I've got like 4 skeins more on the sofa, and I guess a couple of them at my knitting place in another room. So nothing special about this yarn. And if you asked me a year ago, if you had asked me a year ago about acrylic yarns, I would have said no way. So I prefer natural materials, and if there are like 20-25% of synthetic materials, it's okay for me in case of sock yarns, for example, because this could make your garment, your project more durable, you can wear it longer. But for 100% acrylic, I would have said no way. Like, it's, yeah, of course it's soft, but I wouldn't like it on my body, definitely not. But there is a but for such a bed cover, which you can see in the background, it's a perfect choice. I'll tell you why. First of all, you can wash it inside the washing machine and not worry about it, because if you wash such a woolen project, there is a chance that you either make it felted and it will shrink greatly and you will definitely not be happy about it, or that it might, that wool just creates this little messy stuff on its surface when you wear it often. So that was not the choice. Besides, it's rather affordable. So I'm using Alize Burkum Classic yarns. Oh, just a second. Okay, so where did I stop? Talking of yarns for the bed cover, yeah, so I would never have thought that I would knit with acrylic, but here I am. And it's pretty affordable, and I need like 35 100 grams skeins minimum, maybe even more, and if that was wool that would be rather costly, so I decided to choose this yarn instead. I've got pretty many skeins, so let them be put somewhere here. Okay, so we're through with the wool, and now there's only cotton and linen left. Let's look at them. So I've got a few skeins of Enna 16 by Seam. That's an Italian brand, as I see. Perfect for summer tops, dresses. I knitted a swimming costume with this color. Actually, a couple years ago I knitted 2, this bright red one and also pinky beige, very comfortable, and who would have thought that they're so great when you put them on, because right now you might think, why do people need a cotton swimming costume crocheted? So it's crocheted, by the way, not knitted. And you know what, it's really comfortable, and you don't feel it on your skin, right, on your body, and it's a nice feeling. And the only drawback is that it takes a little bit longer to dry after swimming, but if it's warm, if it's a summer holiday, it's not a problem, it's not a big deal. So I've got one red skein left from that bikini, and 2 gorgeous blue ones. Oh, I'm not sure you see the color correctly, but it's blue with a little bit, well, there's no green in it, but the color is so rich and so cool. I love it. I love this shade. this is going to be a top, I guess, because I'm not sure I need another swimming costume. I've got two already, and they do take a while to make, as a fine crochet hook is used, like 1.25 millimeters, and that's a lot of work. So I would probably like to try something new, maybe a top out of this ones, and I've got a couple green ones here, all the same, and the 16 looks probably pretty nice with red hair, so might also be a top or something else. Well, right now I think these are going to be tops. Let's put them somewhere, oops, in here. Next, a couple of bobbins. So this is cotton, a cotton thread. While on the cone it's written that it's by Coriaggi. That's a pretty famous Italian brand of yarn, and it's made like a cord, so it's hollow inside, and it's sort of, it looks like it's knitted. You know what it could look like, this cord, like drops air, but without any wool, without any fluff. So that's simple cotton, very nice, very soft. So this one is pretty dense and heavy. This one is hollow, but the yarn itself is rather thick. So that was bought by my mom, by the way. She's got a purple variant of this yarn. I've got a peachy pink. She tried it, she made a swatch, and she said it was rather heavy, and she didn't like the draping. She wanted it to be a bit more flexible, maybe more drapey, but it was not. So I might try to maybe put in some lace combined with cables, so maybe there should be some lacy elements, otherwise it's rather heavy. And how much have I got in here? Let's wait. Let's weigh this one. 450 grams, around 450 grams. I don't remember how many meters there are in 100 grams, so anyway, it's gonna be enough for a garment, cardigan, I guess. So cardigan or a jumper, we'll see. Anyway, I can't say before I make a swatch because I've never knitted such cords. Ah, by the way, I guess I have somewhere. Yeah, I forgot one more yarn, which is a cord. It's cord and it's printed. Some parts of it are a bit darker and some are lighter, but I'm not gonna show it today because it was a project which I decided to unravel, but I haven't decided what to do with the yarn yet. It doesn't look presentable enough, so maybe later on. So here is this cotton. If I remember correctly, the article is called Park. Yeah, so let's see what it's gonna be. Now, oh, this beauty. You see, I love different shades of blue and light blue, dark blue. This one is gorgeous. It's 100% linen, and the article is called Fresco Lino. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's 320 meters in 100 grams. So it's rather thin, but not so thin. So it's easy to knit it. It's quite a convenient length for me to knit on my needles. I've never knitted linen before, and in my opinion, it's usually rather unlike, well, like cotton, I would say. It's a bit, how to say, a bit coarse. It's not so gentle when you knit it. But this one, it's very smooth to the touch. It's rather silky. It has some kind of glow in it. So I guess it's gonna be an enjoyable knit. What I bought it for, I would like to make a dress out of it. Let's wait, by the way. I haven't decided on the top part yet. I'm now choosing between a raglan and a yoke. Anyway, I would like some decoration here, maybe some cables, but I'm not sure what it's gonna be, a yoke dress or a raglan, and bottom up or top down. I haven't decided yet. Oops. Yeah, 650 grams. So that's about 2000 meters total, which is enough. Enough for a dress, I hope. I haven't knitted dresses yet. Skirts, yes. Dresses, no. So that's gonna be a rather large project, a rather big one. The color, I guess it's very complementary to my complexion, so I hope that it will be a lovely one. And I've got just two more skeins, which arrived a couple of days ago. That's cotton plus, just a second, acrylic or polyacrylic. I forgot the name of that material. Polyacrylic. That's by a Turkish company, Yarn Art, and the article is called Flowers. Again, I've already mentioned, I guess, that I prefer more natural materials, like 25% synthetic in the sock yarn is understandable for me, as it makes them lasting and you wear them longer. As for other stuff, I prefer natural materials, but these are way softer. I guess polyacrylic makes cotton much softer, and I wanted to add some more colors in my routine, in my knitting projects, and I wanted to make a cactus, this triangle shawl that you put around your neck in case it's a bit chilly outside. So lovely colors, and I'm going to do this winter. Oh, winter is almost over, so spring, of course. Spring to wear late spring or maybe during summer in the evening, so might be a lovely project to do. At least I love the colors, this gradient. Isn't it lovely? So these are the final two pieces. So the final two skeins. So this is my yarn stash. As I look at it now, I can't say that it's too much. I could buy maybe some more. Still, I'll try to work with what I have, and otherwise, you know what it's like. This process never finishes. It never ends. If you keep on buying new yarns, you can be not so inspired by the ones you already have. So let's work with what I have. And that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed watching it. So if you liked this video, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos, and bye!